In a world where fame and fortune are the ultimate dreams, there lies a dark side that many don't see. Behind the flashing lights, the red carpets, and the adoring fans, some of the biggest stars have faced a struggle that money, success, and power couldn't fix: addiction. For many celebrities, the pressures of fame come with a heavy price that leads them down a path of self-destruction. Today, we uncover the hidden battles of celebrities who've wrestled with addiction and reveal the harsh realities of life in the spotlight. This is their story. This is the dark side of fame. We begin with one of Hollywood's most inspiring comeback stories, Robert Downey Jr. His rise to fame was meteoric, but so was his fall. In the late 1980s and 1990s, Downey's career was on fire, with roles in critically acclaimed films that showcased his undeniable talent. However, his off-screen life was spiraling out of control. Downey's drug use started at a young age, introduced to him by his father, which eventually led to a full-blown addiction to cocaine and heroin. Robert's addiction became public knowledge in 1996 when he was arrested after being found driving under the influence and in possession of heroin, cocaine, and an unloaded. What followed were years of highly publicized arrests, rehab stints, and courtroom appearances that painted a picture of a man on the brink of self-destruction. Downey's struggle with addiction cost him professionally as well, with Hollywood turning its back on him as he became too much of a liability. But the story doesn't end there. In a miraculous turn of events, Downey managed to overcome his demons through a combination of therapy, the support of his loved ones, and a renewed commitment to his career. His comeback was nothing short of remarkable, with roles in blockbuster films like Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes that re-established him as one of the highest-grossing movie stars in the world. Robert Downey Jr.'s journey from rock bottom to redemption is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Whitney Houston was a once-in-a-lifetime talent, her voice a gift from the heavens. She was the epitome of success, with a string of hit songs and awards that solidified her place as a music legend. But behind the powerful voice and glamorous persona was a woman fighting a losing battle with addiction. Whitney's troubles began to surface in the late 1990s, as rumors of drug abuse started to overshadow her career. Her marriage to singer Bobby Brown was tumultuous, marked by allegations of infidelity, domestic violence, and heavy drug use. Together, they became tabloid fodder, their erratic behavior and substance abuse becoming a sad spectacle. Whitney's drug of choice was crack cocaine, which, coupled with her dependence on prescription medications, took a toll on her health, career, and public image. Despite multiple attempts to reclaim her career and her health, including several stints in rehab, Whitney's addiction had taken a severe toll on her voice and her life. On February 11, 2012, the world mourned as Whitney Houston was found lifeless in a hotel bathtub, her death attributed to accidental drowning, with heart disease and cocaine use listed as contributing factors. Whitney's tragic end was a stark reminder of how addiction can destroy even the brightest stars. Amy Winehouse was a force of nature, a raw talent with a voice that could move mountains. Her unique blend of jazz, soul, and R&B, combined with deeply personal lyrics, made her a global sensation. But as quickly as she rose to fame, Amy's life began to unravel, and her struggles with addiction became tragically intertwined with her public image. Amy's battles with alcohol and drug abuse were well documented in the media, often overshadowing her musical genius. Her relationship with drugs, particularly heroin and crack cocaine, was exacerbated by her tumultuous relationship with her ex-husband, Blake Fielder Civil, who later admitted to introducing her to hard drugs. Amy's frail appearance and erratic behavior became a regular feature in tabloids, with every relapse and failed attempt at sobriety played out in the public eye. Despite multiple attempts to get clean, Amy's demons ultimately claimed her life. On July 23, 2011, Amy Winehouse was found dead in her London home from alcohol poisoning. She was just 27 years old, joining the infamous 27 Club of musicians who died at that age. Amy's death was a heartbreaking reminder of the destructive power of addiction and left the world to wonder what more she could have achieved if not for the grip of her demons. Charlie Sheen. Few celebrity meltdowns have been as public and as spectacular. Known for his roles in hit films and TV shows like Platoon, Wall Street, and 2.5 Men, Sheen's off-screen antics eventually eclipsed his acting career. His life became a chaotic whirlwind of drug and alcohol abuse, reckless behavior, and public outbursts. Sheen's struggles with addiction were no secret. His substance abuse issues date back to the 1990s, with numerous arrests and stints in rehab. However, it wasn't until the early 2010s that Sheen's addiction-fueled behavior truly spiraled out of control. In 2011, he was fired from 2.5 Men, the highest-paid role on television at the time, due to his erratic behavior and public clashes with the show's producers. What followed was a series of bizarre interviews and public appearances, where Sheen famously declared himself to be winning and claimed to have tiger blood. His erratic behavior, fueled by his addiction to cocaine, became a media spectacle, with Sheen himself seemingly embracing his fall from grace. While Sheen has made attempts to regain control of his life, his career has never fully recovered. His story remains a cautionary tale about the perils of fame and excess. Lindsay Lohan was once the darling of Hollywood, a child star with limitless potential. With hits like The Parent Trap, Freaky Friday, and Mean Girls, Lohan was poised for a long and successful career. But as she transitioned into adulthood, Lohan's life became a tabloid spectacle, dominated by reports of her drug and alcohol abuse. Lindsay's troubles began in the mid-2000s as her partying lifestyle started to catch up with her. Multiple DUI arrests, rehab visits, and legal battles turned her into a cautionary tale of how quickly fame can turn toxic. The pressures of Hollywood, combined with her troubled personal life, led Lindsay down a path of self-destruction. Her substance abuse issues were compounded by a lack of stability and support, leading to numerous stints in rehab. Despite brief periods of sobriety, Lindsay struggled to maintain her recovery, with her career suffering as a result. While Lindsay has made efforts to rebuild her life, the scars of her addiction are a reminder of the pitfalls that come with growing up in the spotlight. In recent years, Lindsay has taken steps towards recovery, including a move away from Hollywood and focusing on new ventures outside of acting. Though her journey has been tumultuous, Lindsay's story serves as a powerful example of the difficulties child stars face as they navigate the pressures of fame. Philip Seymour Hoffman was a master of his craft, an actor who could disappear into any role, no matter how complex or challenging. His performances in films like Capote, The Master, and Doubt earned him critical acclaim and numerous awards, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest actors of his generation. But behind his artistic genius was a man struggling with addiction. Hoffman had battled substance abuse early in his career, but managed to stay sober for over 2 decades. However, in 2013, he relapsed, and his addiction to heroin resurfaced. Hoffman's struggles with addiction were a well-kept secret until his untimely death in February 2014, when he was found in his New York City apartment with a needle in his arm, surrounded by heroin and prescription drugs. Hoffman's death sent shockwaves through Hollywood and highlighted the harsh realities of addiction, even for those who seem to have everything. His passing was a tragic reminder that addiction can haunt even the most successful and talented among us, and that recovery is a lifelong journey that requires constant vigilance and support. Demi Lovato has been incredibly open about her struggles with addiction, mental health issues, and eating disorders, using her platform to advocate for those who face similar challenges. Lovato's journey began in her teenage years as she navigated the pressures of fame while dealing with personal demons. Demi's struggles with substance abuse came to a head in 2010 when she entered rehab for the first time at the age of 18. Her addiction to drugs and alcohol was accompanied by a battle with bulimia and self-harm, making her road to recovery even more complex. Despite her efforts to get clean, Demi relapsed several times, with each setback becoming public knowledge due to her fame. In 2018, Demi suffered a near-fatal overdose that shocked her fans and the world. She later revealed that she had relapsed after 6 years of sobriety, a sobering reminder of how challenging addiction recovery can be. Since then, Demi has made a conscious effort to focus on her mental health and sobriety, using her story to inspire others who may be struggling. Demi's honesty about her journey has made her a beacon of hope for many, proving that even in the face of adversity, recovery is possible with the right support and determination. Marilyn Monroe was the ultimate Hollywood icon, a symbol of beauty, glamour, and success. But behind the dazzling smile and the sultry persona was a woman battling deep insecurities and a crippling addiction to prescription drugs. Monroe's struggles with mental health and substance abuse were closely tied to her tumultuous personal life and the intense pressures of being one of the most famous women in the world. Monroe's dependency on barbiturates and amphetamines began in the 1950s, as she sought to manage her anxiety, insomnia, and the demands of her career. Her substance abuse was exacerbated by her unstable relationships and the constant scrutiny of the media. Despite her success, Monroe's personal life was marked by heartbreak, including failed marriages and numerous miscarriages. On August 5, 1962, Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her Los Angeles home from an overdose of barbiturates. Her death was ruled a probable suicide, though conspiracy theories about foul play have persisted for decades. Monroe's tragic end at the age of 36 has only added to her mystique, making her a cautionary tale of the destructive power of addiction and the pressures of fame. Marilyn Monroe's legacy as a Hollywood legend endures, but her story also serves as a reminder of the personal cost of living in the spotlight. Mac Miller was a gifted rapper, singer, and producer whose music resonated with a generation of fans. His introspective lyrics and unique sound made him one of the most influential artists of his time. However, behind the music was a young man grappling with the pressures of fame and a long-standing battle with substance abuse. Mac Miller's struggles with addiction were a recurring theme in his music, with songs that touched on his use of drugs to cope with anxiety, depression, and the demands of his career. His openness about his struggles made him relatable to many of his fans, but it also highlighted the darker side of his life. Despite multiple attempts to get clean, including a stint in rehab in 2015, Mac Miller's battle with addiction continued. In September 2018, Mac Miller was found dead in his Los Angeles home from an accidental overdose of fentanyl, cocaine, and alcohol. He was just 26 years old. His death was a devastating loss for the music community and served as a harsh reminder of the dangers of substance abuse. Mac Miller's music continues to inspire, but his story is a poignant example of the toll that addiction can take on even the most talented individuals. Elvis Presley. The king of rock and roll was a larger-than-life figure, a cultural icon whose influence on music and pop culture is still felt today. But behind the glittering facade was a man struggling with addiction, a battle that would ultimately lead to his untimely death. Elvis's addiction began in the early 1960s when he started using amphetamines to keep up with the demands of his grueling tour schedule. As his fame grew, so did his dependence on prescription drugs, including painkillers, sedatives, and stimulants. Elvis's drug use was largely hidden from the public, but those close to him were well aware of his struggles. In the later years of his life, Elvis's health deteriorated rapidly, with his drug use taking a severe toll on his body. He became increasingly isolated, with his once vibrant performances turning into a shadow of their former selves. On August 16, 1977, Elvis Presley was found dead in his Graceland home from a heart attack, with drug abuse listed as a contributing factor. Elvis's death shocked the world and marked the end of an era. His story is a tragic reminder of how addiction can claim even the most iconic lives, and how the pressures of fame can lead to a path of self-destruction. Britney Spears was the undisputed princess of pop in the late 1990s and early 2000s, dominating the charts with hits like Baby One More Time and Toxic. But as her fame skyrocketed, Britney's personal life began to unravel, leading to a very public struggle with addiction and mental health issues. Britney's troubles came to a head in 2007, when a series of erratic behaviors, including her infamous head-shaving incident, were widely covered by the media. Her breakdown was fueled by a combination of substance abuse, mental health struggles, and the intense pressure of living her life under a microscope. The pop star's substance abuse issues particularly her use of alcohol and prescription drugs, led to multiple stints in rehab and a highly publicized custody battle for her children. In 2008, Britney was placed under a conservatorship, which granted her father control over her personal and financial decisions. While the conservatorship helped stabilize her life and career, it also sparked controversy and a decade-long legal battle that culminated in the Free Britney movement. In 2021, the conservatorship was finally terminated, allowing Britney to regain control of her life. Britney Spears' story is a stark example of the toll that fame can take on mental health and the challenges of addiction, especially under the intense scrutiny of the public eye. Heath Ledger was a rising star in Hollywood, known for his intense performances in films like Brokeback Mountain and The Dark Knight. However, behind his meteoric rise was a man battling his own inner demons. Ledger's struggle with addiction, particularly his dependency on prescription drugs, would ultimately lead to his tragic death. Ledger's troubles began as he struggled to cope with the pressures of fame and the intense demands of his career. He was known to have used a variety of prescription medications, including sleeping pills, anti-anxiety drugs, and painkillers, to manage his stress and insomnia. Ledger's dependence on these medications grew over time, exacerbated by his commitment to his craft, which often left him emotionally and physically drained. On January 22, 2008, Heath Ledger was found dead in his New York City apartment from an accidental overdose of prescription medications. He was just 28 years old. Ledger's death sent shockwaves through Hollywood and the world, highlighting the dangers of prescription drug abuse and the immense pressure placed on young actors. Heath Ledger's legacy as one of the most talented actors of his generation remains, but his story also serves as a tragic reminder of the perils of addiction and the toll that fame can take on even the brightest stars. Prince was a musical genius, a trailblazer who broke boundaries and redefined genres with his unique sound and style. His influence on music and pop culture is immeasurable, with hits like Purple Rain, When Doves Cry, and Kiss becoming timeless classics. However, behind the Purple persona was a man struggling with chronic pain and a growing dependence on prescription painkillers. Prince's addiction to painkillers began as a way to manage the physical toll that years of performing had taken on his body. He was known for his electrifying stage presence, which often included high-energy dance routines and playing multiple instruments. However, the physical demands of his performances led to a reliance on opioids to manage the pain. On April 21, 2016, Prince was found dead at his Paisley Park estate from an accidental overdose of fentanyl, a powerful opioid. His death shocked the world and brought attention to the opioid epidemic sweeping the United States. Prince's passing was a stark reminder of the dangers of prescription drug addiction, even for those who seem to have everything. Prince's legacy as a musical icon endures, but his story also serves as a poignant example of how addiction can affect even the most successful and influential individuals. John Belushi was a comedic powerhouse known for his work on Saturday Night Live and his iconic role in The Blues Brothers. Belushi's larger-than-life personality and wild antics made him a beloved figure in the world of comedy, but they also masked a deep struggle with addiction. Belushi's battle with drugs, particularly cocaine, was well known among his peers and the public. His substance abuse was often fueled by the pressures of his career and his desire to maintain his high-energy persona. Despite his success, Belushi's addiction began to take a toll on his health and his relationships, leading to increasingly erratic behavior. On March 5, 1982, John Belushi was found dead in his bungalow at the Chateau Marmont in Los Angeles from a drug overdose. He was just 33 years old. Belushi's death shocked the entertainment world and highlighted the dangers of the fast-living, hard-partying lifestyle that many celebrities lead. John Belushi's legacy as a comedic genius endures, but his story also serves as a cautionary tale about the destructive power of addiction and the importance of seeking help before it's too late. Anna Nicole Smith was a model, actress, and television personality who rose to fame in the 1990s as a Playboy playmate and the face of Guess Jeans. Her life was a rags-to-riches story that captivated the public, But behind the glitz and glamour was a woman struggling with addiction and personal turmoil. Smith's troubles with substance abuse were well documented, with her erratic behavior and slurred speech often making headlines. Her dependency on prescription drugs, particularly painkillers and anti-anxiety medications, was exacerbated by the pressures of fame and the personal tragedies she faced, including the death of her son Daniel in 2006. On February 8, 2007, Nicole Smith was found dead in a Florida hotel room from an accidental overdose of prescription drugs. Her death was a tragic end to a life filled with both triumph and turmoil. Smith's story serves as a reminder of the dangers of prescription drug abuse and the toll that fame can take on mental health. Nicole Smith's legacy is one of both glamour and tragedy, highlighting the dark side of fame and the importance of seeking help in the face of addiction. Demi Moore was one of the most successful actresses of the 1980s and 1990s, known for her roles in films like Ghost, A Few Good Men, and Indecent Proposal. However, behind her Hollywood success was a woman struggling with addiction and personal demons. Moore's battle with substance abuse began in her teenage years, when she was introduced to drugs by her mother. Her addiction continued into adulthood, with Moore relying on alcohol, cocaine, and prescription drugs to cope with the pressures of fame and the demands of her career. Moore's struggles came to a head in the late 1990s when she checked herself into rehab to address her addiction. Despite her efforts to get clean, Moore faced a highly publicized relapse in 2012, which resulted in a hospitalization and another stint in rehab. Since then, she has focused on maintaining her sobriety and rebuilding her life. Moore has been open about her struggles, using her platform to raise awareness about addiction and mental health issues. Demi Moore's story is one of resilience and recovery, showing that even in the face of adversity, it's possible to overcome addiction and build a new life. Cory Monteith was a talented actor and musician best known for his role as Finn Hudson on the hit television show Glee. Monteith's boyish charm and powerful voice made him a fan favorite, but behind the scenes, he was battling a deep-seated addiction to drugs and alcohol. Monteith's struggle with addiction began in his teenage years, long before he found fame on Glee. He was open about his troubles, revealing that he had started using drugs and alcohol at a young age and had been in and out of rehab multiple times before landing his breakthrough role. Despite his efforts to stay clean, the pressures of fame and the demands of his career led to a relapse. On July 13, 2013, Cory Monteith was found dead in a Vancouver hotel room from a heroin and alcohol overdose. He was just 31 years old. His death was a tragic loss for his fans and the entertainment industry, highlighting the dangers of addiction and the challenges of recovery. Despite his struggles, Cory Monteith's legacy as a talented actor and musician endures, and his story serves as a reminder of the importance of seeking help in the face of addiction. The stories we've shared today are not just tales of tragedy, they're also reminders of the struggles that many face in silence. Addiction is a disease that doesn't discriminate, affecting people from all walks of life, regardless of their fame or fortune. It's a battle that requires support, understanding, and compassion. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, know that help is available. Reach out to a friend, a family member, or a professional. It's never too late to seek help and start on the path to recovery. And remember, addiction doesn't have to be the end of the story. With the right support, there is hope for a brighter future. Thank you for joining us for this special documentary. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and take care of yourselves and each other.